Good morning, everybody. This morning I have a couple of things to start off with. Usually I have Tanya with me to set me all up ready to go, and she's on a conference call this morning, so I'm flying solo for the first time, and just hoping it all goes right. The other thing she always reminds me to do is keep looking at the camera, and if I forget, I'm sorry, but I'll try to keep looking at the camera. Also, other thing I'm gonna mention as I start is, because I move my hands around, some people might say, what is the deal with John's fingers? And the reality is I have daughters, and I'm been their model for the last day or so, and they're being creative. So this is the way they're being creative. So I'm sorry, yes, I have neon orange nail varnish on. Hey ho, life in lockdown. Well, when I was younger, one of my favourite films was Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom. And one of the big things I remember from the film was actually the opening, the start of the film. The start of the film was a big musical number of Anything Goes, and that set up the film. Also made me think of all the Bond movies. And all the Bond movies, they always do this big opening scene before the actual film starts. They set up the movie. I always remember that Bond one where he's skiing and he goes off the edge of a cliff, and you get the old Union Jack parachute come up. Anyway, these things were set up to start the film with a big bang to get us straight in there. And I just thought, let you into a bit of my process for where I'm going with that. I was reading the Bible in 1 year. I and we as a church were reading the Bible in 1 year using the app that HTB have produced. Nicky Gumbels wrote all this commentary to go along with all these Bible passages in the year. And this week, I read a beautiful story of a lady called Florrie Shaw, who I think she was 87. She was going in for an operation, and they said the chances of survival weren't great. And when she actually woke from the operation, she was a bit blurry-eyed, and she could just see a figure in white in front of her. And she said, "Oh, hello, God. I'm Florrie Shaw." That's who she thought it was. It's lovely that she felt, she wanted to say hello to God, that she thought was in front of her at the moment, and that she thought that's where, obviously, she had ended up with him. And with that, I just thought about them words, hello, God. Hello, God. I remember, and this is it, I remember years ago listening to a sermon in the church in Diss, and the speaker said, do we wake up in the morning and do we say, oh God, it's morning? Or do we say, morning, oh God? How we start our day is important. It sets us up. And I suspect, I'm saying this, the challenge really for the day is for us to maybe start our mornings with, morning, oh God. I was just thinking just before we came online of, do we feel the pressure or do we feel his pleasure? And quite often, when we think about the day ahead, we can feel the pressure. We can feel overwhelmed. And at the moment, especially in the current situation, I suspect there's an awful lot of people feeling very overwhelmed. And we can wake up in the morning thinking, this again. What am I going to do? How am I facing this? Rather than focusing in on his pleasure, on God's pleasure. The fact is, that God loves you and he is so for you. And just starting our day with just a simple phrase of morning, oh God, of acknowledging and recognising God in the situation, that who he is and who you are to him, it will help. It won't really probably change what's going to happen during the day, but it will change our response to the day, change our attitude toward the day, so we start the day on the right foot instead of a bit off balance, and feel his pleasure rather than the world's pressure. So simply, this morning, let's start and say, morning, oh God. I'm going to pray. God, you are the ultimate way to start things off. You're the greatest opener to a day there can be. It says in your word, your mercies are new every morning. Great is your faithfulness. So God, as we start this morning, I just acknowledge you in my life. Acknowledge that you are still God, and that actually, really amazingly, you're interested in my life and interested in me and us. So God, be with us today. Help us to keep our conversation with you going throughout this day, bringing you into every situation. Today is yours, and this is the day that you have made. And we're going to choose to rejoice and be glad in it. Amen. Thanks for your time this morning. 8:05 this evening, I'm going to be leading a Zoom prayer meeting. And I'd love to see you there. You would have seen the details for that prayer meeting on an email that went out on last Friday. So you need maybe to check back through your emails to get the ID and everything for that. But I look forward to seeing you all there as well. Have a lovely day. Goodbye.